For this, we're joined now by Jason Grumet, president of the Bipartisan Policy Center. Jason, really quick before we get to stimulus, now that we have the voting being done, Americans, of course, awaiting the results, I think a lot of us are saying, all right, what now? So what now, Jason? What is needed now, at least on a policy perspective, out of Congress?
Well, Kristen, it's good to be with you, and you guys are all seeming really sharp after what I know is not a lot of sleep. So look, all anybody wants to know is, who won, when are we going to know, and what does it mean? I can confidently tell you I have no idea who won. I'm going to follow our organization's own advice and be calm and wait for the state officials to give us meaningful results. But I think your question about kind of what it means, I think, is the right one. It is possible that after everything that's happened in the last 4 years, a global pandemic, a recession, incredible amounts of public strife, that not really anything's going to change, right? It is possible. The president still has a path to being reelected. It looks like the House is going to be remarkably stable, and Democrats might pick up, maybe 1 or 2 seats max in the Senate, but you're going to, I think, confidently have Senator McConnell as the majority leader. So under the business as unusual scenario, I think we know what that looks like, and it is plausible under that scenario to imagine that the stimulus negotiation that was happening, could actually move forward. Path B is the Congress is exactly the same, and you swap out President Trump for a President Biden. At that point, you have the perfect expression of divided government. I think it clearly narrows the frame of imagination from, I think, kind of that progressive blue wave. But it does push us forward with the capacity, I think, to start to take some real action on things like stimulus.
So on the point of stimulus, do you think that Congress will be able to get some sort of deal done and will be able to stop, frankly, quibbling over this headline number here in the package to essentially get Americans the economic relief that they desperately need?
So I can refer back to Professor Hawkins' insights. It kind of depends on when we know who the president is. I think if you want to have a clear sense of the election outcome, you want somebody to win without Pennsylvania. If this comes down to Pennsylvania, then I think the chances are that this gets drawn out and the legal challenges become much more significant than in almost any other scenario. So you want either Vice President Biden to win Georgia, you want President Trump to win Michigan, something that creates some decisive outcome probably by the end of the week. That's not the case. Then I think it comes back to this question of, can Congress now start to look forward? It is pretty remarkable when you think about what they're arguing over. They're arguing over a rather small kind of financial gap, 1.8 trillion to maybe 2.1, 2.2 trillion. And the two issues at stake are also not that controversial. You have the Republicans wanting some kind of liability relief for companies to kind of reopen without legal anxiety. And a lot of Democrats agree with that. And the Democrats want aid to state and local governments, which is not exactly, the most kind of heroically controversial idea. So, it certainly seems like that deal is ready to move. But I think if we have the kind of anxiety and anger over the election that is possible, I think it's going to be hard to expect this Congress to get much done before next year.